Hello and welcome to this session on Ayurveda for busy people. And this section is on prevention through daily routine and lifestyle. And much of this material is drawn from Maharishi's 16-lesson course on Maharishi Vedic Approach to Health, a course on good health through prevention. Maharishi Vedic University, 1995. Beautiful 16-lesson course. And most of these principles, of course, are taught in our degree programs at the university. But for all of us who are not doing degree programs, here's some very important steps. So start with a quote from Maharishi, Principle of Prevention. We know prevention is very important, so Maharishi says, the principle of prevention is really available completely on the level of self-referral intelligence, which cannot be approached by anyone or anything, or reproached by anyone or anything, and which is eternally fulfilled, self-sufficient, and invincible. Self-referral intelligence. That's transcendence, the state of yoga, the state of samadhi, pure consciousness. The ideal state of prevention is in self-referral consciousness, transcendental consciousness, which is easily gained through transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation is a must, is thus the direct means to prevention, Maharishi says. So, of course, to prevent imbalance, we go to the source of balance and strengthen the mind-body and strengthen the mind-body connection, expand consciousness, and have the mind completely settled and balanced. Then the physiology likewise gets very balanced. Now here are principles of prevention that Maharishi brought out in this course on prevention. It's really a comprehensive view of how to structure ongoing health. So number one is complete knowledge, enlightenment, fully developed consciousness. So knowledge of insight, but knowledge of the full value of the inner awareness, expanding the inner awareness to unboundedness, to infinity, and stabilizing that pure consciousness in higher states of consciousness, certainly is very profound technology for prevention. Number two, life spontaneously, underlined, in accord with natural law. Thought, speech, and action upholding the evolutionary and nourishing qualities of natural law. So how this is accomplished is through knowledge and experience of the laws of nature, certainly. If we know that immunity is enhanced by certain foods or by staying warm or regular routine, that knowledge leads to proper action and achievement and living according to natural law. But again, very difficult to practice everything because life is so huge and vast and we have to make a decision every moment of which direction to go. And so that requires spontaneous right action. And how do we act in accordance with natural law? Our thinking needs to be in accordance with natural law. And how can our thinking be according to natural law? By contacting the field of total natural law at the source of thought, the source of our creativity and intelligence, that unified field of all the laws of nature, easily located again in our transcendental field of consciousness through our TM. Number three, balanced physiology. Balance between the inner and outer aspects of physiology. Integration between body and its own inner intelligence. So balancing the physiology, again, requires enlivening that inner intelligence of the body. And the inner intelligence ultimately is consciousness expressing its physiology. So again, transcending is foundational to balancing the physiology. But of course, everything we do in terms of diet, exercise, routine, rest, lifestyle, which is this lesson, will help to balance the physiology. So inside and outside. 4, ability to metabolize any experience into bliss and thereby maintain happiness and freedom from fear. Beautiful. A very profound lesson that's uniquely available in this prevention course. And we have a whole section on that. We recorded another section on how to metabolize experience into bliss. But the basic principle is any experience we have we have to evaluate. The mind and intellect particularly has to decide, is this thing useful? Is this thing not useful? Is this thing threatening? Is this thing not threatening? Is this thing helpful? So the intellect has to assess our experience. And if the intellect is established in that inner evenness, inner contentment, inner peace and happiness through our regular practice of transcendental meditation, then the intellect has the ability to discriminate properly based on a proper, broader perspective. We know when we're fresh and rested after a good night's sleep, then everything seems easier and smoother and more successful. We have more energy, more appreciation, more clarity, and the intellect is clearer. And on days where we haven't slept and we're drowsy and groggy and foggy and mood is not so good, then everything is more difficult. And the intellect can be wrong. It can determine that this thing is a threat when actually it's not a threat. So the ability to experience all, and metabolize all experience into bliss requires that the senses become clear and the mind is settled and the intellect is stationed in that immovability of inner pure consciousness. 5, balanced diet, digestion, and nutrition. And we have 2 lessons coming up on diet and digestion for each individual mind-body type. 6, balanced routines of rest and activity. Life in accordance with the cycles of nature, such as day and night. And we also have a section on daily routine, rest and activity. And we'll also have a section on seasonal routine. 7, a strong immune system resistant to disease. So strengthening the immunity is very important. And everything we do to balance the mind-body system and balance the 3 doshas enhances what's called ojas, which is the integrating intelligence of the physiology, closely related to consciousness, balanced inner physiology, ojas, that equates to immunity, inner strength. So all of the above, diet, lifestyle, routine, meditation, yoga asanas, herbs, all help to enhance, strengthen the immunity, the immune system, and create, and metabolizing experience into bliss also enhances ojas. Doing what we know to be right gives joy and strengthens the immunity. Good relationships also have been shown scientifically to enhance immunity. So the whole system of Maharishi Ayurveda is there to boost immunity and ojas. 8, finally, collective health. The health of the individual is affected by the state of collective health of the whole society. So collective consciousness is very important for the status of society, the progress, the harmony of society. And if individual consciousnesses are violent or turbulent, that affects the whole society. So if the majority of the individuals are peaceful and settled, or even 1% of the individuals of a society has been shown many times in over 55 studies, we have 1% of a population practicing transcendental meditation, crime rate and violence and even accidents rates decrease significantly and measurably. So collective health also means collective consciousness. And so collective practice and group practice of the TM and TM City program is the technology that we have for this area. So now, prevention is averting the danger before it arises. And some quotes from the Vedic literature from Charaka Samhita, principal text of Ayurveda. One who wishes happiness should counteract with therapeutic approaches before the disorder is produced, or when it is newly arisen. From Sutrasthana 1163. So early detection, early prevention is so important. And from the Yoga Sutras 2:16, avoid the misery before it arises. The Sanskrit is heyam dukkam anagatam. Avert the danger before it arises. Very wise. An ounce of prevention. And again from Charaka Sutrasthana, one desirous of his own well-being should adopt quite early what is wholesome to himself. So once we know that our mind-body type is this, and our dosha balance is this or this, then adopting that diet and lifestyle and the daily routine is very important. As soon as we know, it's good to adopt it. All right, so here's the daily routine, the essence of this lesson. That's in 3 parts: morning, afternoon, and evening. So for the morning, the classical Ayurveda daily routine. First, arise early in the morning. You've been hearing this since childhood. It's very powerful to get up with the sun or before the sun. And that rising when the whole of nature is waking up, there's this wave of energy and creativity in the whole of nature. To be a part of that is powerful. And in fact, the whole daily routine is to allow us to be in synchrony with the laws of nature, the cycles of day and night. That adds a powerful engine of energy and creativity and balance to our whole physiology, whole mind-body system, if we're in tune with the cycles of nature. So then it's good to drink a glass of water, not cold, just room temperature is good, or it could be warm in the winter, or for people who are cold inside. And that helps to stimulate everything to move downward through the digestive tract and stimulates elimination. And then evacuate the bowels and bladder, first thing. And then we can engage in light physical activity, walking, or Surya Namaskara, sun salutes. We'll have a session on that. Salutations to the sun in classical Ayurveda. And cleaning and scraping the tongue and so forth. And that can be done, of course, before we drink the water, cleaning the oral cavity. It's good to clean the tongue or scrape the tongue with a tongue scraper. It enhances appetite and digestion. Very, very good. And purifies that whole area, the sense of taste. Massage the head, body, and soles of feet with oil. Sesame oil is used for Vata and Kapha people. And for Pitta people, you can use olive oil. Or if sesame oil is tolerable to you, it's a little more heating. And herbalized oils, of course, are wonderful according to the dosha. And body massage in Ayurveda is said to be life insurance, because it balances Vata, it stimulates circulation all over, opens the channels. Very good for balance, for maintaining the skin. And shave and cut the nails, or normal everyday hygiene and taking care of the physiology. Gargling with oil is very good. It strengthens the teeth. We'll have a section a little bit later, a slide on it. Strengthens the throat, strengthens the voice, strengthens the teeth and gums, and purifies this area and enhances taste and digestion as well. Then we bathe or shower, and that in the morning is best. It opens the channels and helps flush out impurities and revitalizes the system. Then practice Maharishi Yoga asanas and pranayama. So asana yoga asanas and this comfortable breathing exercise, Sukha Pranayama, that we teach. And then our TM and TM City program, our advanced techniques to establish that inner peace and silence and balance. Wear clean and comfortable clothes suitable to the season and activity. And then light breakfast. So this is several things, but this whole thing, up to meditation, can take 20 minutes. I do it every day. And so getting up a little bit early, and then of course our meditation is of paramount importance. That's another 20 minutes. And washing and everything. So this whole thing could take an hour or so. So if we get up by 6, by around sunrise sometime, and even if we have to be at work at 8, and the morning routine takes an hour, then we're done by 7, including breakfast. So it's doable, and we adjust as we can according to our routine. If we're not used to any of this, then doing a few at a time is a good procedure to implement it. Now the afternoon. I take lunch around midday. Remember, when the sun is high, the internal fire is strongest. So somewhere around noon. Selecting food and drink in accord with one's state, physiological state, and balance, and the season. So person is, and we'll have lessons on this also, diet according to the dosha. If a person is strongly pitta, then they avoid hot spices. If a person is predominantly vata, light and moving and dry and rough, then warm, unctuous food, sweet, sour, and salty tastes. And a person is predominantly kapha and heavy and tendency toward blockage, then lighter, drier foods with more spices. And good exercise is important. Then briefly rest after lunch. It's good to sit a few minutes after lunch, or even lie down for a few minutes after lunch on the left side, if one can. And that allows digestion to happen. Never jump up after meals. And engage in the activity of the day, our work or study. And then in the evening, at the end of the day, practice our asanas, pranayama, and our meditation. So that's the afternoon routine. And then for the evening, after dinner, after meditation, we're nice and settled and refreshed. Then take a nice dinner, selecting food and drink in accord with one's state of balance and the season, again. And it's a bit lighter. Dinner is lighter than lunch because when the sun goes down, the digestive fire also goes down. Take a short walk for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes after dinner. It moves all the digestive, massages all the digestive organs. Gentle movement helps to move the food through the physiology nicely. It enhances digestion. But gentle, easy walk, not vigorous exercise after eating. That's not good. And then pleasant, relaxing activity in the evening. Time with friends and family, really focusing on nourishing those relationships. Reading, listening to music, playing music. Just light, enjoyable activity. Many people watch television, and that's okay if it's not too violent, but we should have the screens off an hour before bed, ideally, so it's easier to go to sleep. And we're not too stimulated. And then retire to bed early by 10 p.m. and Pitta time starts. The day is divided into the doshas also. 10 to 2 is Pitta time in the midday and also at night. So at 10 p.m. Pitta time starts again. And that's for completing digestion and metabolism and purification. And so if we stay up past 10, we may get the munchies, but we don't have any digestive fire at that time. It's a different sequence of Pitta deeper in the system that needs to do that metabolism and purification and nourishing the physiology. We have no digestive power, around midnight, or, 10 to 2 in the evening. Very little digestive power. So best to be resting then. All right, and speaking of sleep, from Charaka Samhita, proper sleep brings about happiness, sukh, and longevity, ayu, in human beings in the same way that real knowledge brings about siddhis or special abilities based on the development of consciousness in a yogi. Untimely, excessive, and insufficient sleep take away happiness and long life. So sleep, of course, is very important, we know. Effects of proper and improper sleep, again from the Ayurvedic texts. Proper sleep gives happiness, nourishment, strength, potency, knowledge, and life. And improper sleep gives misery, emaciation, weakness, sterility, ignorance, and ultimately not sustainable to life. Now, day sleep is something that draws particular attention in Ayurveda. Who should sleep in the day? And most people should not. But who should? If we're exhausted due to too much singing or work or study or intake of alcohol or sexual activity or a lot of purification therapy or carrying heavy weights or walking long distances. So exhaustion, then of course we need to recover. Those suffering from emaciation and wasting, thirst, diarrhea, colic pain, digestive pain, and labored breathing or dyspnea, hiccups or insanity, okay to do day sleep. And if during indigestion we can take a nap. And elderly and children and those who are weak and emaciated can sleep during the day. And after injury, then we can, of course, sleep in order to recover. And those exhausted from journey, staying awake at night, anger, grief, or fear. So in these strong conditions, then day sleep is good. And those accustomed to day sleep, if you have a habit of taking a nap over a long time, then it could be okay, except for kapha people. And by this, the equilibrium of dhatus and strength are maintained. And kapha nourishes the organs and ensures longevity. But we'll see who should not day sleep. General contraindications for day sleep. Seasons other than summer, when kapha and pitta are vitiated by day sleep. So definitely in spring, kapha season, kapha can get aggravated too much with day sleep. Specific contraindications, those with the following conditions should not sleep during the day. Those who are overweight, someone with addiction to unctuous or oily substances, too much kapha, kapha constitution or imbalances, and also artificial poisoning, not suggested in day sleep. That closes up all the channels. So in conclusion, hence the wise, after knowing the wholesomeness and unwholesomeness of sleep, should sleep happily. Charaka Samhita, Sutrasthana 21, 39 to 49. And the effects of improper day sleep can be these disorders, including jaundice, headache, timidity, heaviness in the body, malaise, loss of digestive power, feeling as if phlegm is adhered to the heart, edema, retention of fluid, anorexia, and nausea. Also, respiratory inflammation, migraine headaches, allergic rashes or urticaria, eruptions, skin, abscesses, itching, drowsiness, cough, throat diseases, impairment of memory and intelligence, obstruction of the channels or shrotas, fever, weakness of the senses and motor organs, and enhancing the toxic effects of poisons. So lots of not good effects from day sleep. So this is why we bring it up. Now, oral hygiene, very important. Cleaning the teeth, scraping the tongue, also from Charaka Samhita. Cleaning of the teeth should be done in such a way that the gums are not injured, so soft toothbrush. Proper cleaning removes foul smell and tastelessness, removes the dirt of the tongue, teeth, and mouth, enhances the taste for food. So obviously oral hygiene, very important. In the olden times, or sometimes now even in rural Asia, they take twigs of certain trees like the neem tree and you chew it a little bit and make a little toothbrush at the end of the twig and use that to brush your teeth. And it's got built-in tooth powder, toothpaste. But for most of us, a soft toothbrush and a good natural toothpaste or tooth powder is good. Scraping the tongue. The tongue should be scraped to remove the waste matter deposited at the root of the tongue, which obstructs the breath and gives rise to foul smell. Tongue scrapers should be curved and not sharp-edged, and they should be made of metals such as gold, silver, copper, tin, or brass. And you can find tongue scrapers online or in health food stores or in Indian grocery stores. Very effective. Now, chewing digestive herbs and gargling. One desirous of clarity of the sense of taste and of clarity and good smell of the mouth should keep or chew the fruits of such things as cardamom and clove. Again from Charaka. So chewing in a cardamom pod or a clove, very good for oral health and sense of taste. Sense of taste is very important because if the taste is lively, then one has good appetite and good digestion generally. Gargling with sesame oil. Gargling with sesame oil enhances the strength of the jaws, the depth of the voice, softness of the face, excellence of the sense of taste, and the ability to appreciate food. And it also prevents dryness of the throat, cracking lips, cavities, and toothache. The teeth become strong. They can chew even the hardest edibles, according to Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana 5:78 to 80. And just take a little bit of oil, swish it around the mouth for some time, or you can take a bit more oil and then swish it around and gargle it. Oil pulling is becoming popular, and sesame oil for most people is the best oil. I've used coconut before, and it's okay in the summertime, but sesame is the most effective. And in research at NYU, we found that skin cancer can't survive in sesame oil. Skin cancer cells don't survive in sesame oil. So sesame oil has a special quality for massage and gargling. And it takes a little getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's nothing. It's very easy. And now an oil massage. Just as a pitcher, a dry skin, and an axle become strong and resistant by the application of oil, So by oil massage, the human body becomes strong, smooth-skinned, and not susceptible to diseases due to vata. So vata is light, rough, dry, cold, moving, and subtle. And oil is all the opposites. It's unctuous, it's heavier, it's sharp, it's a little bit heating, and it's not subtle, and it's smooth. So it's all the opposite qualities. So really good, especially for vata. The body becomes resistant to exhaustion and exertion. Vayu dominates in the sense organ pertaining to touch, and this sense organ is located in the skin. Oil massage is exceedingly beneficial to the skin, so one should practice it regularly. Of one who practices oil massage regularly, the physique is smooth, flexible, strong, and charming. And even if subjected to injuries or strenuous work, it is not much affected. By regular oil massage, aging is prevented. From Charak Sutrasan. So highly recommended oil massage for all those, except when the channels are really blocked, the person has a lot of blockages or ama, or if a person is very kapha and has lots of oil, then oil massage is not as much needed. Now oil on the head, especially, one who applies sesame oil on his head regularly does not suffer from headache, baldness, graying of hair, or hair fall. So very good for maintaining the hair. I'm 72, still have some hair, and I do massage almost every day. The strength of his head and forehead is enhanced, his hair becomes long and deep-rooted, his sense organs work properly. The skin of his face becomes brightened, and application of sesame oil on the head produces sound sleep and happiness. So again, head massage. Even if we can't do a full body massage, doing some oil on the head can be very useful. And a little oil on the crown before bed may be useful for sleep as well. Now feet. Feet are important for oil massage. By applying oil massage to the feet, roughness, immobility, dryness, fatigue, and numbness are immediately cured. Tenderness, strength, and steadiness of the feet are produced. Eyesight becomes clear, and vata is relieved. Interesting connection to the eyesight. We know that the soles of the feet have nervous connections to all the organs, the whole physiology. Of course, and vata is seated in the lower part of the body, the colon in the lower part of the body for mobility, and vata is relieved by massaging the feet. But also eyesight, interestingly, becomes clear. That means it's also balancing vata and pitta in the whole nervous system, because of that massage of the feet connects to the whole physiology. Sciatica, pain in the hip or thigh, cracking the feet, and constriction of vessels and ligaments are prevented if oil massage is applied to the feet. Charak Samhita, Sutrasthana 590-92. So again, if we don't have time for a full body massage, massaging the head and feet, and also the ears, can be very helpful. All right, so that's a sketch of our daily routine according to Ayurveda. So the health tip here is, in your journal, write down 2 elements that you'd like to introduce in your daily routine this week. Maybe we'd like to do a head massage. Maybe we'd like to make the main meal at lunch. Or maybe we'd like to have meditation, whatever it is. Write down 2 things. And then write down in your journal some strategies. Okay, if I'm going to do foot massage, what are the strategies? Okay, I need to figure out a time when to do it. I need some kind of reminder how to do it. And I need to go get some oil or order some oil. So there's some strategies around that objective. And then each day in your journal, write your progress. Oh, today I got the oil. Tomorrow, the second day I started using it. Third day I forgot, but 4th, 5th, and 6th day I did, and I really noticed some change. I felt more settled inside. Sleep was a little better, whatever it is. So notice your progress. And at the end of the week, it's good to celebrate your successes, reward yourselves in some way. Take your spouse for a nice treat or something nice that you'd like, just as a reward for moving in the direction of life according to natural law from the perspective of Maharishi Ayurveda. So enjoy your daily routine, and until next time, thank you.